Hey Josh, I wanted to make this video to help elaborate on a Google Doc that I'm going to share online, and you will get that along with this link to this video. It's going to describe kind of everything that we want done in the checkout and what needs to be done immediately with this release, hopefully that's being done on Saturday, and what can then hopefully be done within the next week or so. Okay, so anyways, going to start here. Up at the top right, this should obviously be auto-recognized based on the country from which the customer is arriving from. And I want to have a couple links here. A login link, and perhaps we should have a login and checkout link or something right here. We can kind of discuss that, and then we should also have probably a tracking link, or maybe that's just when you log in, and that's going to be down the road, but I'm putting that on this list of the kind of the final version. Okay, currently on the website, when we get images passed to us, they're not always secure. Ziggo's are, for example, and so when we get an order from Ziggo's, the person can see the image of the product that they ordered. If we get an order from Colobags, they're not secured, and so Judd set it up to where it doesn't try and even display images if they're not on a secure server. Then if somebody's in Internet Explorer, it doesn't pop up, give them a pop-up saying, this website's trying to display, secure and unsecure images, or whatever that message is. Do you want to continue? And so we've been able to avoid that, and I think have an advantage over our competition who has that message pop up if somebody doesn't have secure images. Okay, so on the unit prices, I want to make sure that we have the dollar symbol to the left. That's either a British pound symbol, a US dollar symbol, but we have to have to the right the 3 digits country code, because not every country has different symbols. For example, this is Canadian dollar, and I want to show you how this looks on our current website. Okay, so here's our website right now. You'll see this is going to Canada, and here we have listed 140.68, and unless you're smart enough to look up and notice that the currency is in Canadian dollar, I think people have been confused. I actually think it's been hurting our orders on Colobags and a few of the companies. Luckily, the dollar is very close to the Canadian dollar right now, but it does look like it increases the price more than it actually does. And so I want to make sure that it has a dollar amount, then the CAD. And if it's a country that has a symbol, let's see, like there, then it would say, GBP over to the right. Okay, continuing on here. I want to have up here at the top an explanation of the dollar. So Canada, Canadian dollar. That's how it currently is on our site. It says British Virgin Islands pound. And then, but down here I want it to just have Canadian dollars, CAD. We don't need to say Canada. We just say the dollars. So we'd say Canadian dollar CAD is basically the difference with down here versus up here. Just look at how this is displayed. It's perfect. When shopping on a store, this CAD should be everywhere on every item page, or AUD or whatever currency it is. And then okay, now anyways, that's enough on the currency. I think that I've gotten kind of across my point on there. I mean I think that explains it all. Okay, right up here we don't have an update cart button, Nils. Nils had designed this, so we just need somewhere an update cart. I don't know how you want to do that. If you want to have it over here or whatever, I really don't care. We just need one. And then go into the duty and tax. I want the option to prepay duties and taxes. It can be by store and it can be by country. So for example, Colobags does not even want a duty and taxes on here. They don't even want this. They want this to be gone. And just somebody can pay for the shipping, and we just have a duty and tax notice right here. Most businesses, however, we want to have the ability for customers to prepay duty and tax. In this case, they're forced to prepay duty and tax to Canada, which will be likely for a lot of accounts. There's going to be other accounts, however, where we'll want to just give the option. Most countries besides Canada I'll always have a radio button, kind of like this looks, and they can choose to prepay and do the duty and tax if they want, and if they choose to prepay it, it'll list it over here to the right. If they choose to not prepay it, I want to put like not prepaid, or something that notifies them they're not prepaying it. And this is where this image to the left, I want to be able to change in multiple different ways. Duty and tax is guaranteed. Yeah, because they've prepaid duties and taxes. They don't prepay the duties and taxes. Well, right here, duty and tax estimate, and that's what I wanted to show. Let's say we really start doing well in Germany, and I want this to be in German. So I want this to be dynamic, based on country, and based on option if they chose to prepay it or not. And then oops, sorry about that. Okay, the postal code is required to calculate duties and taxes, but not necessarily the shipping. So it'd be great if we could still quote a shipping amount, and maybe we could put calculate taxes. But if you want to get the postal code before we display the shipping and everything, I don't really care. We're going to need the postal code anyways. If the postal code is not valid or something, I don't want it to not display a currency or whatever, but it should be valid. And then with some countries, we might actually be required to put in a city to calculate the proper taxes. And let's hope that there's something in the tool that for duties and taxes that helps us to determine that. And maybe this changes to say city, going to Australia, or let's say, for example, and I know that Ireland does not have postal codes, so there's an example. Okay. All right. I want multiple shipping methods based on store. Maybe this is going to Australia, and we don't have an economy service to Australia. We just have an express service, so they only have one option to Australia. And I want the ability to change the text based on whichever country they choose, or whatever option they choose, and I want it to be based on store as well. Okay, the shipping cost, and I detailed this in the thing I typed up on Google Docs. I want to calculate it primarily, hopefully, by weight, and we know the weight of the product. If we don't know the weight of the product, I want the option possibly to calculate it by the value, which is how we currently calculate shipping. We have a percentage table, and 1 to 10 pounds is 40%. Or I'm sorry, 1 to $100 is 40%. 100 to $200 is 37% of the value we charge in shipping. But what I'd really like to do is have a value to weight formula for each store. So for example, let's say this was a $100 item that they were buying up here, and I have a formula for this business that I just say, because most companies sell similar type products, every $100 I times by 6% gives me a number 6, and that's 6 pounds. So I'm going to calculate it at 6 pounds. So if they spent $200, doubled the order, I'd calculate it at 12 pounds. I think that's going to be a really good way to do weight calculations, and maybe that's how we eliminate the calculate by value completely. I don't know if it would work in every circumstance, but I think it could. Okay, the duty and tax details here. I'd like to show these details if possible. If it's better, we can show the total here for the duty and then the details below. I really don't care, but if it lets us show that detail, I'd like to see it. We need to add, however, an amount for whatever I want to call it. Brokerage, clearance. The duty and tax calculator is not going to figure that out. It'll figure out the duty and the taxes. It's not going to figure out any carrier fees. And so, and I know just from working at UPS, and it's a pain in the butt. So I need to be able to put in a flat fee or a percentage, whether that be a $5 fee for Canada Post, or it's going to Australia, and maybe I don't add anything going to Australia. But that's just some information there. Okay, I think that's it on this page. I'm going to